Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Barbershop. My name is Ron Barba, and my company is called the Barbashop. I own a commodity trading advisory service called the Barbashop, and we manage money and commodities. And the Barba name, Barbashop, is my last name, B-A-R-B-A, of course. And I also named it after my dad, who put himself through Yale University by working in a barbershop. And in his honor, I decided to name it after him. He eventually became a structural engineer and had a construction company. So I've been managing commodities for over 35 years, my own money and customers' money. And it's been quite a successful career over the time. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I was in semi-retirement, and I saw a commodity boom coming that I thought was going to be pretty gigantic. So I decided to go back to managing money for the public again, which I have. And Jeff will explain some of our programs later. They've been very successful, and I believe that the commodity boom is going to continue on for quite some time. Now, the main program we have, one of the main programs, is investing in gold and silver on a long-term basis. I've done that for the last 5 years for myself, and I believe it's still a good investment today. And that's really going to be the thrust of what I'm going to talk about today, which is investing in gold and silver. However, I'm not going to probably discuss it the way you might think. You might think I'm going to give you statistics about how much metal is mined and how much is sold and all the other type of things. Actually, I look at it from a different point of view, and it comes about from 40 years of experience in the markets, from a lot of common sense, some deductive logic, and how I came about all my views of where I think the metals are going to go. But I will give you just a little background on gold and silver, so you have some feeling for it. Gold has been mined forever. It's always used as a store of value, and is used and kept in all the central banks, and people print currency off of that, and you can always get your currency and turn it in for gold and silver. It's been the backbone of currency forever. And silver, of course, has been money a long time ago, but today it's 90% used for industry, and just as by itself is growing dramatically, the demands on it. Two major reasons are all the Asian countries are growing dramatically, and they're using silver much more. And the other thing is silver goes into almost everything. Every cell phone has some silver, every computer has some silver, every iPod. So the demand-supply relationship is growing. But that's still not the reason why I think it's a good investment. Gold has been historically backing money, and it's sort of interesting how that all happened. I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think thousands of years ago, everybody saw this shiny gold, and they said, oh, it's pretty, they want to have it. Once everybody wanted to have it, it became something that people could rely on, and I think that's why they made it a store of value. So the first people took their gold and went and bought a cow. And then probably after a while, the person said, gee, lugging this gold is too heavy. Let me print some currency to represent the gold, and the guy can get the gold, but I'll bring the currency over and buy the cow, and he can return in gold, get his gold for it. After a while, probably what happened is the guy with the gold said, you know what? Nobody's coming back to asking for the gold, so I can print more currency out. So maybe I'll put 3 times the amount of currency for the gold I have. And that's how the whole thing backing gold to back your currency, I believe, began. And of course, it's gone on for thousands of years, and is the backbone of all our civilizations and the currency we have. Now, as a concept, that's a very good concept, and it's certainly lasted. The problem only with the concept is, if you stay backing your currency with gold and you keep it where the percentages are reasonable, I think you're okay. And that's existed for 100 years with us. The problem is that we've gotten away from that pretty dramatically. We now print currency at a very rapid rate. And I'm not sure the exact numbers, but they say it's about 1% gold for all the currency we have outstanding today in the United States. The reason to buy gold and silver has to do with the concept of the ever-expanding money supply versus the static amount of gold. because our government keeps producing more and more dollars, and they do this through debt. Every time there's debt produced, that's more dollars into our society, and that means that it's chasing the same number of goods, and that really depreciates the dollar. But the idea I want to get across to you is very simple, but I'm not sure everybody sort of catches on, which simply is that the dollars, your money, has no value. The only thing that has value is what it can buy. And I know everybody spends their whole lives trying to acquire money, investing, working to get all their money, but it has no value in and of itself. It's just what it could buy. Now I'm going to give you an example of that. You're on a deserted island. You're by yourself, no clothes, no anything. A helicopter comes by and drops a big, gigantic bale of dollars next to you. $1 billion falls next to you. You're by yourself. You have just become a billionaire. Exciting. What is that billion worth to you? Nothing. Now the helicopter comes back and drops some food, some clothing, some shelter, some things to make fire. What is that worth to you? Everything. So you can see very clearly when you sort of isolate it like this, the dollars have no value, but the other things do have value. So you got to get out of your mind that dollars have value, even though you try to get them all the time. It's just what they can get for you. And actually, in that particular scenario, that fellow on the island probably would be willing to spend the whole $1 billion to get the things that he wanted. In which case, we have a situation where the money supply went from 0 to $1 billion, and your price of your things that he wanted to have went up to $1 billion. That would be the actual scenario of the dollars being printed and the fixed things that you want to have.